But again, this is what's important. But again, this is what's important.
And you can't hear me. All right, there we go. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Woo! All right, I am your host, A.D. Walker. Appreciate you guys being here. Lisa in the building. Great morning to you. Blessings. Thank you for sharing. Today we're talking about can we continue to build in disagreement? So that is a question. And we're going to be, appreciate that. Thank you. Says loving the intro beat. All right, so that's our conversation today. That's what we're talking about. All right, we got a full lineup today. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get started. As always, can make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Tag somebody. Let everybody know that the brothers are in the building, as well as continue to text our community. Text LW into 84576. Text LW into 84576. And never miss a broadcast. So, like I said, let everybody know that we're on. We're going to have a great conversation. We're going to dig into this because I think building in disagreement or learning to not cut off, but learning how to grow, I think is one of our biggest challenges. So we're going to get into that topic. All right. So let's see. Hey, what up, Rich? Good morning, Mama McCory. Appreciate you. Let's do the darn thing. And we'll be back right after. Hold on. Yeah, right after this. All right. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Oh, all right. Everybody's in the building. Good morning. Let's do
Yes,
this.
sir. Good morning.
What's
And
good? What's good? Good morning.
yes, indeed. All is well. We got the crew in the building. Let's see. Hey, it's Sam. Good morning, Sam. All right. So, like I said, today we are discussing spliggity splow. Can we continue to build in disagreement? So, I want so I want to ask you guys this as we get this conversation started. Um, have you ever had let's just say a business connection, and like you build something, you might even have a friendship, somewhat of a friendship associateship, may not be real deep, but you kind of know them, they're cool, you guys got into some kind of business arrangement, it goes bad, right? Of course, you're a little mad, it bothers you. Of course, we go through the forgiveness process. I'm not holding this thing, but did you ever come back together? Were you able to kind of get back into that same groove or relationship, or did it change, or you just kind of didn't deal with them? Have you ever had a reconciliation where that you were cool again, or you can do business again, or was it just a one-time thing, or has it ever had at least one time in your life that you bad, then we good again?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got something from younger, but it ain't appropriate for this platform.
Sam said, I need Mark to answer first. Mark, have you had a situation like that?
um,
What's up,
yeah,
Mike? Good
but
morning.
it wasn't a business. It wasn't like
Okay.
a business venture or nothing like that. I had I'm a musician, and
Okay.
so I used to play with this community choir.
Okay.
People from all over and everything. I played for this community choir, and I was the drummer, and he was the keyboard organ player. And he and I became real tight. Like that was my dude. That was my ace
Right.
for like years. I
Right.
mean, we kicked it, we hung out, we did our little dirt together, all that little stuff. Like how we do. And then
Right.
one day he messed around, and
Uh-oh.
so for he and I, our vice was always women. That was our vice. That's the one vice we shared with women.
I
And
got
one
you.
day he let his vice get the best of him, and he tried to holler at my girlfriend at the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he stepped to my girl, and she came and told me. And he and I had a very spirited conversation. We had a very spirited conversation about it. And so years went by, years and years went by, and what brought us together was a mutual friend of ours that passed away, and I saw him at the funeral.
Okay.
And he came up to me, man, and gave me a hug, and
Right.
he started, he apologized.
Right.
So he and I aren't, like, I guess you wouldn't say friends, but we are cool.
Gotcha.
And we're cordial now. So
I got you. So let me ask you this. So you kind of, because of that incident, do you feel like you could ever be as cool as you were?
nah. It's sometimes, man, when things happen, certain things happen, you gotta keep people at arm's length, man.
Right.
Sometimes it can't go back to how it was.
Interesting. Is that
because when you
because
cross
you feel,
a certain line, the dynamics change? Yeah.
Right. Okay. That answered the question I was going to ask. Okay. What about you, Pastor? Have you had that situation, whether it be business or personal, where either a line was crossed or a deal went bad, or what that's a good question, Sam. Oh, what how did you feel? Did you reconcile and come back and rebuild? Like, we back to where we were, in a sense. Like, it's a little different, but we cool again. Muted. I saw you looking at your mic. I'm gonna give you a second.
Yeah, is that
there you
better?
go. Yes.
I'm a believer in that anytime you reconcile, you have shifted the trajectory of the relationship. So I don't think you never go back to where you were. You move forward to something different with a different perspective.
Okay. Okay.
To answer the question, absolutely. I've had it multiple times in my life, on a personal level, on a business level, on a ministry level, but I'm not the person who, and I'm not saying that anybody else is. First thing is, well, how do you have so many? Well, when you live a dynamic life, I think it's easy to fall into areas where there could be some conflict.
Right.
I've lived in a lot of different places. I don't live where I grew up. So I've had to learn people from different cultures, different environments, different backgrounds. I've lived in a lot of different states. So not everybody's cut from the same cloth. So I think I've been more available for disagreement.
Okay.
Understand, I think when if it's not your family, you're not raised in the same house, it's easy.
Right.
The question is, how much attention do you give it?
Hmm.
Do you just brush it off and walk away from people, or are you interested in trying to reconcile? A lot of cases, we're not interested in reconciliation. We just move on,
Right. Right.
But if the relationship has value, that's when you want to work on it. Right.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
So to me, I have had it because I'm a believer in relationship.
Okay.
I'm a believer in community. I don't like people being upset at me. That's just, but you could say, well, I don't care how they feel. Well, I do care. It
Right.
matters to me.
Right.
So I'm going to try to reconcile. So I have had situations like that. Situations where I've had to, where I've done business with somebody and they did something that didn't sit well with me and we had to go back and make the deal work anyway. But I live like I'm an engineer, I'm an architect by trade, but I'm in a sales driven environment.
Right.
And I've dealt with a lot of shaky salespeople,
Right. Right.
Whose integrity could be questionable and character can be questionable. And so I've had to work with people that I didn't like their philosophy on life. I didn't like their business etiquette,
Right.
But in order to get the deal done, I had to tolerate certain behavior.
I understand that.
Yeah.
All right. So let me bust this out first. What she said, Kingdom Blessings. Richard said very much depending on circumstance and what line gets crossed. Indeed. All right. So Sam says, is it always necessary to reconcile?
Nope.
Nope. No. What about you?
No.
Kadeem? No.
No, you ain't got.
Oh,
you ain't
yeah.
gotta go that cool.
Hey, I got a lot of, like I told who was I talking? Oh, at the little boot camp that I went to for couples.
Okay.
They was like, do you have a lot of male friends? Because my wife got a whole bunch of female friends. Well,
Okay.
so-called female friends. I was like, no, I really don't have any male friends that I like, who I just go and hang out with, like
Right.
by myself without the
Right.
missus. It's always a couples thing, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like, I mean, if we go out as couples, then I can say I'm friends with couples. But as far as an individual, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this, that, and third. Like, nah, I cut all them off a long time ago. Because when I shifted my mindset from being in the city I grew up in to the city that I'm living in, I kind of like cut all those ties. You know what I'm saying? Because when I first got here, I was still had that same mentality.
Right.
And I was still going back home almost once a month. Just
I got you.
that 12-hour drive. I was like, okay, so it just bam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could be a Thursday or a Tuesday, and I'll be like, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Houston.
Right.
Then when I go back there, it's kind of like the same thing. Oh, we coming up that way, man. No, you ain't. we gonna leave that right where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So
they want to come see.
So yeah, man. Well, I mean, it's seeing me wasn't the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we talk about that later on. You know what I'm saying? But it was different.
I got you. I feel you.
It was different.
I understand. If you have friends in a certain space that you like, yeah, that don't kind of mix into what my life is now here. I can't have you bringing that into my house.
I mean, because I see 2008.
Right.
Like all my buddies who was smoking weed, all my buddies popping pills, all my buddies who was doing this, that, and third.
Right.
Like that's what we would do every day.
Right.
Like soon as we hook up, that's what we doing.
Right.
I had to cut all them cats off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's all we was doing. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them.
Right.
But I ain't seen them in years. You know what I'm saying? I love the memories of them.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. What you thought, like, oh yeah, that was a great time.
Literally, it was, but it wasn't good for me.
Right. I feel you. Sam said I need to answer the question. I mean, to me, reconciliation. I don't know. Like, so I was sitting there thinking about, of course, I'd like to get a little deep into the question and like at this stage. Like if I'm trying to build community, right? I'm trying to connect with other people. And we've talked about this several times on the show, the different levels of relationship, from the confidant to the constituent, those that are close and those that are far off. Right. So, if I feel like if we together long enough, we're gonna bump heads on something. Something's gonna go awry. Other than you just being a liar and a thief. Like having those characteristics. I get it. Like I can't be around that. I don't even trust you. Like I don't even know if I can leave you in a part of my room and walk out. Like without you ever have you just got to scan the room, make sure there's nothing of value just sitting.
Hey, that's real though. That's real.
So it's like on that, it's like, yeah, maybe I can't really have you part of my community. But other than that, having differences of opinions, political differences, we can kind of find a way to agree to disagree. Like you agree on that, I agree on this. It's cool. We work it out. You understand what I'm saying? Or, we do a business, you kind of didn't work out, you had an issue, you went away that I was like that, maybe you could reconcile and come back together. But as far as I think there should be like a reconciliation for most relationships. For most.
Yeah, man. Hey, me and my daddy, we got into it on many occasions. I cut that Negro off immediately. You know what I'm saying? We didn't speak for a minute. But if it wasn't for my wife, I never would have talked to my daddy. She would have invited him to all kind of stuff. I'm like, man, I ain't got no. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't hate him.
Right.
But I could deal without his presence.
Wow. Phone call.
I think reconciliation is it can be a good thing.
Okay.
But I don't want people to confuse reconciliation for forgiveness. I think it's important to make that.
That's good.
What I'm saying? To make that differential. And
hey, good morning, Cheryl.
As a Christian, yeah, we have to forgive.
Right.
But we don't have to reconcile.
Mm.
Now, Scripture encourages reconciliation. You know what I'm saying? If you got an alt against your brother, go to him.
Right.
But it ain't necessary.
Mm.
So that's why I feel, I gotta forgive you, but we ain't gotta mend our fences. I mean, like you said, I don't hate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I could deal with that. The thought of not seeing you again, I ain't gonna lose no sleep over it.
Right.
It's important to make that difference, to know the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation.
I got you. Okay, so what about the outer circle of at least being available, right? Like me and you, Mark, we give the wave, like say we just in the same church circle, like, right, up, brother, you still alive, praise the Lord. I'm just saying, can we keep it real, like, well, at least still alive,
right.
Yeah. And like say I work on cars, right? And you have a car issue, or you work on cars and you have a car issue. Can it be enough that, like, within my circle that I know of reputable mechanics, like, because, when it comes to your cars, like, I'm trying to go to somebody good, but nobody that's going to just try to rip me off, like, can we at least have enough of a connection where I can call you to do something, not free, I'm just saying, but is it possible? Like, and I want you to think in your head the people that that you kind of put on the outskirts. You don't wish them dead. You just ain't fooling with them no more. I can't.
But if it's a situation like that, I'll take your money. I ain't gonna turn down no money. So yeah, you can hit me up.
Oh, would you call me? Would you call me?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I probably would. I would if I knew you did a good job.
Right.
Like for real.
Right.
I would give somebody your name and number.
Okay.
But I probably wouldn't reach out to you personally.
Okay.
But I would give the person that information. I'd be like, hey, tell him Mark sent you. If he just asks, like, okay, how you got my information?
Right.
You can tell him I gave it to you. But I ain't gotta contact you directly now. Like
that's
actually I ain't gonna hate her, man. Like I said, I ain't gonna make you miss no money. So
okay.
You think about it, that's actually a deposit into the friendship bank. If you refer somebody to them,
Right.
and they give your name, you know what I'm saying? It ain't direct,
Right.
but if they say what's the name referring to you, he's like, oh, he sent me a little money.
Right.
I might have to reach out to him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It ain't no guarantee,
Right.
but that's a deposit on your part. You feel me?
You know, I can see how it can be a proverbial olive branch. I can see that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
the gesture.
Oh, let's see. Pastor, did you want to add something? I was going to read some questions.
No, go ahead. I'm just here for the comments.
What if someone really betrays you badly? How can you forgive and reconcile?
Like I said, we if we're Christians, if we're calling
Right.
ourselves Christians,
Right.
then we have to forgive.
Right.
We have to
Right.
do that. That scripture says if you don't forgive,
Right.
you will sure enough miss the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
So I ain't going to hell for nobody. So
Right.
I gotta forgive you.
Right.
But if you're talking about betrayal, like for real, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to a relationship,
Yeah. Yeah.
a marriage or something like that, no,
Right.
we don't have to reconcile.
Right.
We don't. Now, like I said, I just have to make sure that I forgive you because I don't want to walk around with hatred in my heart.
Right.
But I ain't got to fool with you.
Right.
Like straight
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my ex-wife.
All right, Mike says. I would like you. I would like you.
Being honest.
Yes, indeed. I would like you from a distance. I love me enough not to give you the emotional real estate again. And Chris, what up, Chris? Ain't seen you in a minute. He said, my car mechanic reconciled after I paid the bill. so like I said, so is it, can you, like building community, like I said, takes building with people, right? And we all, like I remember Pastor said a long time ago, he said, our relationship really builds when we get into a place where we disagree and we just kind of bump heads a little bit, because we're not going to always agree on stuff. And
Right.
and that, disagreements kind of build relationships in the sense where we understand, okay, this is our little spat here, but we'll get over it. We'll agree to disagree, or I change his mind, he changed my mind, however it works. But isn't that what community's built on? The disagreement, sometimes agree to disagree moments, and sometimes we just may not agree with how you handle something. Would you say like communities built on that? Because we're not going to always be kumbaya, but we'll find a way to work together for something greater. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about covenant relationships. You're talking
Right.
about, there's levels to this. When you talk about community, that's people that are committed to each other with a certain purpose in mind. You can't get to your next level without hostility, without challenge, without debate, without issues. It doesn't happen. There's no such thing as a completely uneventful relationship. Right. A lot of times our peace is in spite of. Right. Because you have expectations that, there are very few things that will cause us to be disconnected from one another. Right. And the problem, and so you have to ask yourself, what is it? You set expectations for every relationship that you're in. You set them internally. The problem is you don't always set them with the person on the other side.
True.
And then when you hit that brick wall, you may have crossed a line that they didn't even know existed. Right. And then they cut you off and you don't understand why. And then it becomes this bitter whatever, and that's why communication is so key. But I mean, to go back to the question about, rebuilding, can we come together? Yeah, you can, if the value of the goal outweighs the issue.
That right there, the value. So how do you place value on your relationships? I know you get married, your wife has the highest value. She's supposed to be rocking with you for life. This is your partner right here, so she has the highest value. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, have a little spat. It's like, we need a little more before we break up, because I think there's a lot of equity here.
I think you have to look at the relationship as, does the relationship or the friendship doesn't make you better as a person.
Mm.
You know,
Okay.
because my friend here, when he said he go back to Houston sometimes,
Right.
and he's reminded of what life used to be,
Right.
and so he chose to disconnect himself,
Right.
because I don't think those relationships or those friendships, they don't make him better. You know, like I said, not to try to analyze your life, because I don't know you like that, bro. But just.
Oh no, you hit it on the head.
Yeah, but just within the context of what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have to reconcile relationships that aren't going to benefit you, and I don't mean in a selfish way, but I mean one that's going to make you better, one that's going to hold you accountable,
right,
and one that's going to build you up. You know, and like I said, we're going to disagree, but is there enough maturity between us to where, you know, not only can we be honest with each other, but like I said, but we can build each other up, man. And I encourage you to do good. You encourage me to do good. And like I said, we ain't sitting around just wasting time.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Indeed. Indeed. So is that like one of the best values of a relationship, would you say? Or would there be another value to place on it? Because I think even somebody that you're pouring into, even though they may not be pouring back, you ever like pouring into somebody and you get something out of it as well, like based on their situations or conversations and things of that nature?
Well, there's a certain gratification that comes with, and I'm sure Pastor can attest to this, but there's a certain gratification that comes with giving somebody some sage advice,
right?
And they follow through with it, or they come back or you hear that, hey, you know, what I told you came to pass, or what I told you was actually beneficial to you, and it worked out. Yeah, there's a certain gratification that comes with it, but you know, it still doesn't mean that
it's a value in that relationship.
Yeah, it still doesn't mean that there's value, because relationships is back and forth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't be the one always pouring into you, even if what I'm telling you is spot on,
right,
and I enjoy seeing you come up.
Right.
I enjoy watching you glow up and everything, but if I can't be a, you know, just a receptacle, man. Like, you know, I'm always I can't be a reservoir.
Okay.
Just giving.
Right.
You know, somebody gonna have to redeposit something into me too, bro. And if you're supposed to be my man, you know, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, that's one reason. Even though our relationship, I think I've been knowing Brian the longest out of the group that I was introduced, and I met him as Brian. I know everybody call him Pastor. and I don't have a problem calling Pastor, but the reason why I choose to be, the reason why I strive to have relationships with you guys, that's AD and Brian and my man up top, is that y'all are spiritual men, and I want to be more spiritual, and you know I want that to rub off on me. So I'm not pushing it away. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to be involved as much as I can with y'all, so I can get some of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here.
Right.
What I love about what he just said, and this is funny, we're on here on this platform, and I just happen to have, I think my name says Pastor McCrory, and I didn't know any better when we got on here, right? The first time Kaneem said that, and this is what I tell people, and oftentimes I say this, this is the book of Brian.
Right.
It's one of my famous phrases.
Right.
Or this is Brian talking, because I may be a pastor, but I may not be your pastor. Right. And you are not required to call me that, because before I was pastor, I was Brian.
Right.
You know what I mean? That ain't how everybody feel.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I appreciate about Kaneem, and people call me pastor just out of respect. Well, if he's Pastor McCrory, then I'm gonna call him Pastor Brian, Pastor McCrory, whatever. But what I love about Kaneem is he's so comfortable in his own skin. He's like, well, when I met him, his name was Brian.
Right.
He got introduced to me as Brian. So that's who he is to me. I respect him as a pastor, but he ain't my pastor. He's B to me. And listen, man, I'm saying, like, what could create ruffles or friction? You understand?
I'm sorry.
Oh man, he's so funny. What I'm saying is we talk about expectations, we talk about crossing lines, we talk about all of those things, and sometimes it's the small foxes that spoil the vine. It's little things like not having those types of understandings that could cause people to think or act a certain way. And I'm saying I think we miss out on how small and how trivial this stuff can be that causes us to disconnect from one another. So I just wanted to highlight that.
So do you feel like that happens more often than not, where something small disconnects us and us or the other person kind of like disappears?
It's the reason you brought it up as a topic today.
Indeed.
Right. It happens enough for you to be like, man, this is something we need to talk about, because obviously you see it enough that you felt like it was worthy of a conversation.
Definitely.
So Blackstreet Boys still don't have everything worked out. 30 years later, still got money on the table. Right. Because of a minor disagreement all the way back in the day. Somebody got mad because they wanted to give somebody more money. And now they all of them are leaving money on the table because they can't come back and reconcile. Millions of dollars, man. It's crazy.
I saw
his unsung, and he said that at the very beginning. He was like, if y'all want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation, but ain't nothing happening until we sit down and talk about it. So
Do you think you could, if it was, like, let's just say you guys, something bad happened way back then, do you think, would you hold up other people's because you can't reconcile, or would you just, kind of
depends on the situation, right? How thick is the issue, right? There are fundamental things that will be unchanged in certain people's lives. There's certain things that you're just not going to be able to move past until you get that thing fixed. Go ahead, Kaneem.
No, I was agreeing with you. I didn't have no example. I was just agreeing with what you said.
So how? Okay, but like,
remember back in the day when you was in school, you could say anything you want to say, but you talk about my mama, we're gonna have some problems.
Shoot the door. That could get you hurt.
Like,
that could definitely get you hurt.
Your mama.
And a lack of an apology can get you cut off.
It's an automatic misunderstanding. It's an automatic misunderstanding.
Sometimes you want that person to try and make amends, and it's like, and you have the mindset, like, if they come to me and apologize properly, hey, we can wash our hands and squash it. But until they do, we will remain estranged, especially when you feel like they were in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you still love them, and like I said, it was a misunderstanding. But you was like, they need to apologize to me, for whatever reason. So now it'd be different. It'd be different if they was a snake. And they're like, I ain't fooling with you. And I'm gonna tell everybody, man, I'm gonna tell everybody else, don't fool with you. Ain't no reconciliation. But if that's your friend and y'all just had a misunderstanding, but let's just say your friend really was in the wrong, I'm like, he need to come.
Yeah, man. I had a motto. Me being the only child, no brothers, no sisters, kind of like raising myself. My mama, she was working second shift. So I get out of school, she on her way to work, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And old man, I was picturing he's a certified crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So being that, I kind of like raised myself. My motto was, if you don't impact my life, in a positive manner, I ain't got no issue with just cutting you off real quick.
Hmm.
Because if you couldn't add to it,
Yeah.
what you
Right.
there for? And this is at like 12, 13, you started
Right.
learning this. I started learning this trait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it kind of, again, you know how practice make perfect.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was something that I just continued to do as I got through my teenage years, and when I got into my early 20s, and I started going all across the country, seeing all these different cultures and different, I guess you'd call them hoods, because I never was in a 5-star area. You know what I'm saying? When I'm
I feel
going to
you.
these different, so you see how folks are, and it's a trip because. Like when you go to the West Coast or you go to the Midwest or you go to the East Coast,
Right.
everybody has some type of different mannerism as far as respect.
Right.
A level of respect is very different all across the country, man. All right? And you just be surprised at how one word
Right.
here
Right.
is totally different somewhere else. And when you
Gotcha.
try to, explain your position on why
Right.
you said it, it might come to blows. You know what I'm
Right.
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't mean no harm. So I got friends all across the country that I used to try to keep strings with,
Okay.
try to maintain. But
Right.
yeah, like I said, and those friends I made at that point in my life are still doing the same things as 45 and 50-year-old men now. And this is
Right. Okay.
25 years ago. You feel
I
me?
got you. I got you. I got you. So let me ask you this though. So what about the people that you're connected to? And I get what Mark was saying. If you're always pouring in to kind of wear you out, not getting anything back. But what about the people that you are connected to that are that you can kind of see us striving to do better, but you're like their light. Like Kaneem, like I said, in essence, you got out of that old mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like you grew up, you matured, or you see like, oh man, there's another part of this world I can live. Like this, I ain't got to live
Yeah.
this dirty life. Like, oh my, I could actually enjoy living in a better light. And you're somebody's light. You know what I'm saying? You're my hope. you know, our
I
connection helps build that. How do you like maintain that? Because you're gonna disagree because the way I'm living ain't agreeing with the way you living, but you kind of
Yeah.
like I want to get there. It's just whatever holding me back. Do you have those, or how do you deal with that one? You already
So
or go ahead.
I was an outcast,
Okay.
which on the motorcycle set is one of the most notorious motorcycle clubs on the planet, considered the gutter. Right now, I didn't live life in the gutter,
Right.
but if I wanted to be in a motorcycle club, I wanted to be with the biggest, baddest dudes out there on the road.
Right.
So I was there, but I had to come out of there.
Right.
Right. I had brothers in there that, you know, I shed blood with.
Right.
When I came out because I could not live my life and be attached to that. Right.
Right.
But I didn't want to lose my brothers.
Right.
Right. But if
Mhm.
you leave out of there, you basically supposed to have to disappear.
Right.
Right.
Gotcha.
But I still had brothers, that people that I cared about.
Right.
And I wanted to, and I wanted my life to show them that wasn't necessary.
Right.
And it took a couple years, but they watched me. They watched what they were doing. They watched me. They watched what they were doing, and one by one, the guys that I was closest to in there came out of there. And now they're out
Right.
and living life productively,
Right.
have given their lives to the Lord, So, yeah, you can learn. You can show somebody that there's something better out there. You can't get everybody out.
Right.
Right. But as long as you can impact somebody, you've been productive.
Right.
Because not everybody that I was connected to came out.
Right. Okay.
So if that is an example of what you just talked about.
Yeah. That in that essence, so have you guys, Mark and Kaneem, have you kind of had any situations like that, or someone connected to you that you saw you as a light, and like I said, you're gonna have your issues or disagreements because your lifestyle has changed, your mindset has changed. Like you said, Kaneem, like yeah, I know y'all coming, but I can't roll with y'all like we used to do back in the day. That's not what I do anymore.
Yeah. It's not a friend, it's a cousin.
Okay.
But
same thing for me. Yeah. I mean, he's the same.
I brought her up when I moved up here. I think I was up here for maybe a couple of years, and I was roommating with a buddy of mine, and so I brought her. I went down because I get my daughter every summer.
Okay.
And when I went to go pick my daughter up, I told her that when I come drop her back off for the summer, that she need to come on back to Georgia with me, and try to plant roots and do something different. So she did that. She was ready when I came, and she jumped in the car. We came to Georgia, and like I said, I was roommating. So
Gotcha.
first night we get here,
Uh-oh.
she didn't cut the food the first night now. So my buddy who I was roommating with, he's like, "Oh no, man, she got to go. She has got to go ASAP." Because he was married. You know what I'm saying? He was married.
Okay.
He was married, and I was the third wheel.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So
And you can
me, yeah, but she didn't. The plan was for us to get a spot of our own.
I got you. I just
But I needed. But the first day though, I mean, we there 24 hours. She got to go.
Oh man.
So so now I'm on the hustle trying to find a spot,
right.
get a spot.
Right.
And I'm over there. If y'all know Atlanta, I'm over there off Memorial Drive.
Right.
And so I got me a spot. So we there for maybe a week, and then I come to the house, and I'm feeling like my homeboy. I'm like, "Who got to go?" but that's my cousin, right?
Right.
Her brother, me and her brother, same age.
Okay.
But he got killed in '99.
Oh.
She came up here in 2001. So and me and him was tight. So when I went down there, we went to his grave. Yeah, we went to his grave, and I'm saying we both crying. I'm telling him that I'm gonna take care of it and all this that birds. Anyway.
Right.
So I said, all right. So I ended up buying me a house. So I mean, because I had been saving money for a minute. So I was 20. I was 25. Bought me a house at 25.
Nice.
So I left her with the apartment.
Uh-oh.
And at that time she was working at Burger King.
Okay.
So she had one of her friends to roommate with her in the 1-bedroom apartment that I left her with.
Oh.
Man, they ain't paid the first month rent. But anyway, let me fast forward this 20 years.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right. So, excuse me. So, anyway, 20 years later, she's still doing the same thing. She had 2 kids 20 years ago. She had 2 kids since she's been here, so now she got 4 kids.
Okay.
So I'm telling her so I had a house over there in Southwest Atlanta that I was just got through doing. So I'm telling her that I already contracted and wrapped it up. All we need to do is just clean it up, get the dust, what I'm saying, just get it presentable to sell.
Right.
So I'm telling her, I'm gonna give her $100 to go in there and, basically just white glove everything. She tell me, "Oh no, that ain't enough." And I'm like, "Hold on, what are you talking about? All you need is a white towel and just go along. You don't need no mop.
Just tighten it up a little bit
I-
for me.
yeah, but so she went through all that, man. And so
Oh,
to this day, to make a long story short, to this day, she's basically in the same position
that she
that
was.
she was 20 years ago with two kids who about to graduate from high school. She got two
Wow.
grown kids and she got two
Right.
kids in
Two,
high
two
school.
more things.
And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, hey, but I was her light. Remember you were talking about that light?
Right. Right.
I was her light. But she started putting shades on as soon as she got here. You know what I'm saying?
I got
So,
you. So, Mark, I
but
guess you got
then,
a similar
yeah, go ahead.
situation.
Nah, at least that was I guess a one-time thing, man. Imagine it being a reoccurring thing with a family member, because I got a cousin who is what I call a professional crackhead. Okay, he in the big
Capital
leagues of,
professional.
of crackhead. Like he like he
He in the
true to it. He
crackhead
ain't new to it.
Olympics.
You know what I'm saying? He true to it. He ain't new to it. And
uh,
I just and what happens is we laugh about it. Like me and some of my other my other family members, we laugh about it because we were like, dude, he one of them. He one of the last of the Mohicans when you talk about like old school crackheads, like the
Right.
yeah,
ones that could actually get you some product or whatever. If you
yeah,
need something,
Right.
I
Right.
got TVs, I got radio,
Wow.
like all that good stuff. They'll come up and clean your windows for a couple of, old school crackheads who brought
Right.
value to the hood, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he one of them. But one thing about it, man, he just constantly is just on this roller coaster.
Gotcha.
He's on this roller coaster, man. And it's like you pour into him,
Right.
and then he comes around, like he'll start coming to church, everything.
Right.
And it seems like he gonna finally get it together. Like he might finally turn that corner.
Right.
But then, he just keep going back. And then one particular time I remember me and my brother used to live together right before he got married. And so me and my brother used to live together. And we let our cousin, our crackhead cousin, come and stay with us for a little while.
Oh.
And, we let him come stay with us, man. And we was like, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to set you up with,
Right.
like at a halfway house. We're going to set you up. We're going to get you in rehab because,
Right.
we had these resources. We're going to get you in rehab. We're going to find you a job.
Right.
All this stuff. So he bought into it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like he was finally, going to make some changes, man.
Right.
But then we started noticing, man, food coming up missing in the crib. Maybe a couple of dollars you had laying around or some change that was left on the table come up missing, and
Right.
then he
Right.
just started flat out lying, talking about, man,
Yeah.
can you drop me off over here? It's for a job,
Right.
and you going around the corner, but you really finna go around the corner and get high.
Right.
And we
Wow.
started noticing it, man, because I don't know if you've ever been around a crackhead or somebody who do drugs after a fresh high.
Yeah.
But man, it smells this particular odor.
Gotcha.
And so it can be pungent.
Right.
And so
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's just like a cigarette, man.
Yeah,
It's just like you up in around somebody that smoke cigarette.
Yeah.
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 You know they didn't smoke cigarette. It's
Right.
the same
That's
thing.
it.
That's
Wow.
that smell. That's crack smell.
Yeah,
You don't never forget it.
Yeah, you don't never forget. It's almost like when you smell like for me, being a removal tech, when you smell your first dead body,
Right.
like after it's been there for a while, that's a scent you never forget.
Right.
Yeah.
Say that. So when you've been around a crackhead who just come off of a fresh high,
Right.
it's a scent, it's an odor you never forget.
Wow.
And so and it would be on him periodically.
Wow.
Which let us know, like, man, you know what? But the thing is, it was a cycle.
Right.
It's a cycle.
Right.
You keep helping, you keep
Right.
you keep
Right.
trying to pull somebody out. They look
Right.
like they're gonna turn the corner.
Right.
They go right back. And it's just when is it gonna click?
Right.
Right?
Right.
But
Right.
instead of getting frustrated, man, sometimes you gotta know when to.
Stop.
I don't want to use the term cut people off, but you gotta know when to distance yourself.
Right.
You do. I
Right.
Yeah,
love him to
man.
death, man.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love him to death. I do. I love him to death. And I told somebody, I said, listen, if he died today, God forbid, if he died today, I'd be sad.
Right.
But at least I know I tried
Right.
to
Right.
do right by him.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried.
Definitely.
But we can't make people, be a certain way. People
Right.
are who they are.
Right.
And they're gonna have to get to a point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
man.
Indeed.
just like your friend, man.
Indeed.
I know I like just listening to you tell that story, man. I know you care about it and everything, or
Right.
you cared about her, and,
Right.
and you tried to help and alleviate her situation,
Right.
but she gotta want it, man.
Right. Right.
She
There you
want
go,
it.
man.
Yeah.
How I look at it is over the years, I done came to the conclusion that you help people who help themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
You going out there, you go out there and try to help everybody, this, that, and third, and be like, okay, I'm gonna help you do this. And
Right.
then the next thing you know, your help was for nothing. Like
Yeah.
really, you wasted your time because you could have actually helped somebody who wanted that help. You
Right.
didn't you you
Right.
didn't you didn't you didn't you didn't want no help. This was
Right.
just a moment. This was a
Right.
moment. You know what I'm saying?
All
I'm gonna
right.
see what I can do for this moment, but I ain't gonna change nothing.
Right.
Right.
All
And
right.
those and that's the type of relation. Well, that's the type of interaction or those relationships I was talking about. Like you try to help, but then you distance yourself, and you're like, I love this person, I care about this person, but if we are to reconcile, or we are to get back to a place of normalcy, I guess
Right.
they gonna have to be the ones to make that first step. I've done
I
all I
got
can
you.
do.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you don't come after them. You let them come after you, kind of
No,
thing. Like if they really need.
not after you done. If you've done your part,
Right.
no, I'm not finna just keep going and keep going and keep going
Right.
and keep going. You got to show me something. You got to show me something different.
Right.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
love you. You
Right.
know, and I get it, man. Life can be stupid sometimes.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get dealt a bad hand, man. I get that, but I'm not finna kill myself trying to save you.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I treat my daughter, man.
Go
My
ahead, you
daughter was
pass
on.
it.
Oh, go ahead.
He was trying to, but I think he was muted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you hear
Oh,
me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You're saying I love you too much. This is something that we say in the church all the time. What I love about the Lord is He accepted me where I was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He loved me enough to accept me where I was, but He loved me too much to keep me there.
Right.
Right.
And what you're saying is I cannot be comfortable connected to you watching you die away.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you can't take what I'm giving, you refuse the help that I'm giving,
Right.
right? Then I'll wait for you to really want change.
Right.
Exactly.
But I can't sit and watch you like this and feel comfortable. And that's because I'm saying I've had to say that to people. I can't tolerate how you live. If you're not trying to get right, then we don't have anything in common.
Right.
Right.
Because this is the direction that I'm headed in. If you don't have to be in the same lane, but we at least got to be heading in the same direction.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
And sometimes you have to do that. You know, some people are bold with the statement. You got to cut them off. I don't like the term cut people off.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think there's a softer way to position it. But sometimes you do have to cut.
Right.
That's just the truth. Sometimes you got to cut so that you don't lose your own life. Why do you think when someone is drowning, they got to go down 3 times before you help them?
Right.
Yeah.
To keep them from drowning you at the same time, because their panic will kill you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yes,
exactly.
indeed. That's good.
I remember watching an interview with Bobby Brown right after after Whitney Houston had passed away.
Okay.
And somebody interviewed him, and we all know how their relationship was. I mean, my Lord. But Bobby said something that just resonated, man. They was like, well, why didn't y'all had all this money, all this access, all these resources. Why didn't y'all get us some help? Why didn't y'all get us some help? And Bobby Brown looked at him and was like, man, look, you gotta want it, man. He's like, you gotta want it. And he's like, we can't want it more than you want it for yourself. Like just Pastor said, it's like, and Bobby Brown said that he was like, man, you gotta want help. He was like, I'm just being honest.
Hey, good morning, Deborah.
Right. She did not want it bad enough.
Right.
She might have wanted it, but she didn't want it bad enough. And at that point, what can you do?
Right.
You
right.
know, so, yeah.
Gotta want the help bad enough.
You gotta want it, man. But like I said, but I'm not about to. I'm trying to. While I'm trying to be your lifeline,
right.
You're starting to become an anchor to me.
Right.
And if you hold on to an anchor,
right,
we're gonna sink. So at that point, it's like, hey man, listen, I love you, but you got to show me something different. This is where I get off. This is my stop right here.
Right.
You know, so it is what it is.
All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking. I have one question to ask you guys before we get out of here. All right. It's a scenario. You and I'm gonna pull it back because the scenario said brother, but I'm gonna say like an associate, a coworker that you're kind of cool with. You know, you got that cool work relationship. Yo, what up? You know, y'all clicking, and y'all both go to get a lottery ticket from like the gas station, right? You're both you pay, he pay, boom, you get a lottery ticket, and y'all go. Y'all go chill at the house. Like, say you live close enough. Like, hey, the numbers is coming up. Let's go watch it, right? So they read off the numbers, and then, hey, thank you, Mama Corey. And you hear your friend yelling like, I can't believe, oh! And in the course of him yelling, he passes out and dies from a heart attack. At right there, this is you and him. He got the winning lottery ticket. It's $10 million. Do you switch the tickets?
I don't even gotta do that. I just pick the ticket up and walk out the door.
Pretty much.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
You and a coworker buy a lottery ticket together.
Yeah.
You go, like, say y'all live close to the house, his house, your house, whatever, and y'all watching the numbers go, and they read all the numbers. You looking at yours, he looking at his, he's hollering like, yes! And in excitement, he passes out and dies from a heart attack. Do you switch the tickets? $10 million. He said just kidding for the win.
Wait a minute. Wait. We both go buy lottery tickets. He buys his, I buy mine, and we're sitting together watching the lottery.
Yes.
He has the winning ticket.
Yes, $10 million.
He drops dead.
Right there. This is you and him.
Nobody else is around.
Nobody else. Nobody even know
y'all
went to get tickets. Nobody knows.
Lord forgive me.
Hey,
Lord forgive me.
I ain't even mad at it. I ain't got to that point to say Lord forgive me. I just got that ticket. I'm gone.
Well, you did say you trying to get to where we are.
I am. I really am. I'm putting effort into that.
Well, you know us Christians. Sometimes we have this ability to find a scripture that will be applicable
well,
to the situation to
yes,
justify
indeed.
it.
Yes, indeed.
And I guess, and so my dad is old school coaching, so he don't believe in playing lottery.
Right.
So if I was in that moment and he dropped dead with the winning lotto ticket, I'd be like, Lord, you said in your word that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. Thank you.
Look, Sam said it at the same time. Sam typed it. When you said it. I wouldn't even go as far as to call my buddy wicked.
Yeah.
No, I was saying maybe the lotto ticket is the wicked thing.
The wicked, right?
Yeah. I'm like Romans 8. And 28, all things work together.
For the good of them that love the Lord and are called Oh, it's perfect. All right.
Shoot. The Bible also says money answereth all.
Oh.
Oh, come on now.
I had some questions before he asked. Now that I got the winning ticket, I got the answer.
Thank you.
God, a well-respected person. What he do for one, he'll do for another.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
We can make it work. We can make it work.
I see that.
We'll find something to justify it. I promise you. $10 million?
Look,
Right.
look, I heard the ticket testify. The ticket said I once was lost, but now I'm found.
Come on.
We'll make it work, Doc. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I would. It's not even a thought, bro. Like, if you, I'm gonna call 911,
Right.
and I'm gonna try to CPR.
Right.
But yeah, but I'm gonna take the ticket out of his hand, like, or
Let me hold it for you.
I'm gonna pick it up. I mean, listen, I'm gonna need a nice vacation after my friend's funeral. I'm gonna need that.
A little traumatized.
I'm gonna need to just go somewhere and clear my head.
Right.
And I think Hawaii would do the trick. We all grieve different. And I think a trip to Hawaii would help me clear my head. You know, I'm like, this for you, big dog. Bring me another pina colada. I appreciate you.
Look, I'll be talking to his family, talking about, you know what, he was really a blessing to me. As
you fly away from his funeral in your private helicopter. Come on.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
He gave me my flowers while I yet lived.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go because I think we
can keep it going. We can
keep it going, bro.
Listen, I appreciate you guys being here and rocking with us. And continuing to hang. Make sure you join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Don't forget, tonight we have Solomon's Temple Christian Ministries Bible study online. That's at 7:00. And at 8:30, we have the Sisters of Legacy. So make sure you don't miss that. If you feel like you might, make sure you text. He said, Mama Corey said, y'all so bad. Text LWN to 84576. And don't forget, this Thursday, the House Hustler Club meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. on Zoom, hosted by my man, Mr. Kanee. So it's going to be a great call. So if you want that information, join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. All right. All hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you guys being here. We see you. Thank you, Mark and Kanee, for always holding it down. Pastor, of course,
yes, sir.
Always rocking with us.
Yes, sir.
We will see you in the AM.
Cool.
Peace.
As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for hanging, being with us. Sharing is caring.